Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time, like I always say, but this webinar, even more so, the reason why we're sitting here in the middle of a Monday afternoon lunchtime. So kudos to all of you. And the truth behind this is we have, number one, two awesome lead programs, co-op lead programs. And the newer one is the Final Expense exclusive lead program that we're launching today. So Andrew from Game Time, the owner of the platform, okay, is very, very busy, as you can imagine. Okay, in fact, from what I understand, their orders are going insane, and it's because of the quality and the service of these leads. And there's no other way around it, right? You know, we've all heard stories from A to Z, and this program's so great, and this one's so great, and these live transfers are the best. And what happens is, you know, they might be great for the first 30, 60, 90, 120 days, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden the service starts to go downhill, or the same lead is resold 3, 4, 10 times, right? We've heard it all. And Andrew, I will say, and I'm not just putting my name on record, okay, about him and his company, but we have launched the first program. It's been like 3, 4 months now, and there hasn't been a complaint. And when there is an issue, his company is there to make it right. And I'll also say that I've seen, especially these $1 million no exam life leads, I've seen them turn into 30, 40, $50,000 IUL sales. So the opportunity is there. The lead quality is A plus. Okay. And with our co-op discounted rate, you're not going to find a better program out there. Okay. And I'm on record saying this, and I mean it. I'll stand behind it. Is it perfect? No. Is it excellent? Absolutely. In every single way, it's excellent. So if you're on the fence, right, and you're thinking about, oh, you know, maybe I'll order the new final expense leads or try the $1 million life leads, there's no better time, okay, because they work. And in fact, Ian, who's been on a few of our podcasts, he's one of our top agents on the West Coast. He's the one that informed me about the program. He's been using it for years. And we had another pilot agent start to use the program. And after hearing the feedback from Ian and the other pilot agent and agency, I said, we have to launch this. And that's how this whole thing came to fruition. So here we are, Andrew. We're so fortunate to have you join us, and I know you have a little window here on a Monday afternoon, which is why we decided to do this on a Monday afternoon. But we appreciate you taking the time. What I want to do real fast, I'm going to jump into 2 slides, and then I'm going to introduce Andrew, and he's going to take the wheel. But the first slide here, I want to dive into, and actually, believe it or not, this is most important, I think, and I believe in this firmly. If we can go to the next slide, that would be great. What we're doing here for September 11th and for American Cancer Society, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October, and then September, of course, is the September 11th issue that we had years back. We wanted to do something for our agents, right, on behalf of every application, every Levinson employee, every Levinson agent around the country for that matter. We are donating $10 for every single application for September is going to Tuesday's Children Charity, okay, which is backed by the government. And then in October, which is also my birthday month, right, and it's also Cancer Awareness Month, we decided to keep going with those contributions for October and donate the same $10 per application to the American Cancer Society. So 2 great organizations, right? And this is going to be thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's on behalf of every single agent out there in the field and all Levinson employees. So kudos to each and every one of you, right, for helping us help these families, these people in need. So I just love this stuff. I think it's all about giving back and helping the community. So we stand behind that 100%. In fact, you'll see for October, we're going to have everyone's going to wear pink, and we're doing our little employee staff shot in the front. in front of the Levinson and Associates sign. Everybody will have pink on, pink cupcakes, the whole deal. So you'll see that posted on our Facebook page. We're really excited about it. And again, thank you to each and every one of you out there in the field making it happen. Because if it wasn't for you, this whole thing would never, ever come to fruition and happen for us. So I love this stuff. Let's keep moving. So what I want to do, we're going to jump into our feature presentation. We're going to go over 2 slides for the 2 programs. And then as soon as we wrap that up, we're going to show you the best way to quote the best products for each platform. And we're giving away a batch of leads to the agent that answers our question first and correctly at the end. So we'll do that right before 2 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you are on until the end. Okay, and we're going to give you all the tools that you need to make these leads turn into clients, customers, okay, for life, literally, because cross-selling and everything else comes with it. So let's jump right in. Andrew, first off, thank you so much again for taking the time. We appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And by the way, I love Monday calls. It's the best. Let's get the week started out right. So I think Monday calls are good. I know not everybody always loves them, but yeah, no, let's hit Monday, head on, and let's have a big week.
I
Can you hear me? Did I lose you guys? Did I lose you guys? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, okay. I think my phone went out for a second.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, Andrew. So let's start off with the first slide here. If we can jump into the $1 million no exam life lead, if you can give everyone the 100-foot overview, and we'll talk about some of these bullets.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what these are non-med life insurance leads. We put an offer up to $1 million, a non-med up to $1 million in front of a lot of different occupations. I think I love how it says non-med, term, or permanent, because I think there's going to be scenarios where you may want to present an IUL or a UL and maybe even some smaller whole life cases and stuff like that. But these are people. The whole idea with this lead was, let's target people that are making an income, right? So we want to target people that have an existing job or business, things like that, so that you guys, you want, one of the best things to sell insurance to is the people that can afford it, right? And so if anybody has any kind of debt, any kind of, they've got jobs, they probably got a debt, and they probably got a family, which means those are a lot of things that they need to insure. And so, so we put a non-med life insurance offer up to $1 million in front of them, and then how it happens is they actually click on the ad and they fill out some information, and once they hit submit, it goes directly to the agent. And that's really important because, number one, it's timely, right? It's going to come to you quickly, but it's also going to, it's only going to you. Okay, so it's not going to go to 5 other agents, things like that. It's a very, very simple system. We build websites for each of our customers, and whatever lead comes in on that website goes directly to that agent. Okay, and so that's very, very important. Yeah, these are definitely not final expense leads. These are, we're going after that, again, hopefully that middle age, or you'll see some younger leads and some older leads, but you should have a good blend in there as far as age. And so local leads, let's talk about that a little bit. Local and statewide, or sometimes we call them virtual because people close them over the phone. She got $40 per local lead and $30 per statewide lead. I will say this, and I know a lot of us on this call have grown up in this business, and we've made careers, selling face-to-face, right? Like a lot of people under the sound of my voice this morning, or this afternoon, I should say, you've really done well in your career selling face-to-face, and that's great. I will say though that for the future, and time is money, Our local leads do come in, but we fill the orders, but they come in at a lot slower rate than our statewide leads. Statewide leads are just cheaper to generate. There's more people in the audiences that we target, and they come in much quicker. And the old saying is time is money. And so I want to present to you a situation to where you've got two scenarios. Let's say it's Wednesday and you've ordered statewide leads. Your whole lead order should be in. If you've ordered them on Sunday, something like that, like your leads will start flowing on Monday, and by Wednesday you should have most, if not all, of the order done, complete. And so scenario one is, hey, you're having a good week and you want to turn it into a great week. And so you can order leads again on Wednesday. Leads will start flowing on Thursday. And then you can finish that week and say, hey, I'm going to have that big $10,000 week this week, or what have you. So you can turn a good week into a great week because leads just come in much quicker. Okay. And the more states, the better, right? Because they're going to come in even faster. Let's use the other scenario. Number two is it's Wednesday and you've not had a great week. You're kind of, maybe for whatever reason, you're just not making as many sales as you normally do, or whatever. You can order leads again on Wednesday and have a whole new batch come in Thursday, Friday. And so you can turn a bad week into a good week, right? And so that's the really neat thing about the statewide lead is, one, it's cheaper, but two, they come in so much quicker. You can work more leads in a shorter period of time, therefore making more money, writing more deals.
What would you say, Andrew,
Go ahead.
real fast, what would you say if an agent orders the statewide versus local? What's the time difference where it takes to get your full batch about?
That's a great question. That's $1 million question, because it's all going to depend on the agent's area. I mean, we've got areas where we hit hard, and local leads can take, I've got some areas where local leads, you might get 1 or 2 a day. And some you may get 8 or 10 in a day, but there are areas in the country that are very, it's just a very cyclical, volatile flow on the local lead order. So it could take a week or more sometimes to fill a local lead order. It just all depends. If you want full control of the scenario, then I would say statewide is going to be your friend. Now, granted, I do know that it's much more difficult to sell over the phone versus face to face. However, your customer, your client, think about your clients. They probably would prefer you sell it over the phone, right? They don't necessarily want you coming over, right? And so society's changing, things like that. So, but I want to look at the next bullet point down, or 2 bullet points down. We do integrate with Ringy as well. We have a very simple, short 2-minute video that we can, I can have, the Levinson group send out or whatever. If you want to integrate with Ringy, it's a very, very simple video. Just watch it, click here, type this in, and boom, you've got Ringy set up. The key is just to make sure that you want to make sure we do that before. You can set up Ringy, that is fine. Once you order, I'll go in and we'll finish all the integrations and all the setups. So before your first lead comes in, we'll make sure it gets to Ringy. Again, the majority of the people ordering leads from me don't use Ringy, right? They have their own, they use a spreadsheet. So if you don't use Ringy, that's okay. We're going to send the leads to you individually. They're going to come, you're going to get an email notification as they come in, and then we're going to send, each email is going to have a link to your Google Sheet document, which will have a list of all your leads, and you can work all your leads off of that. That's what the majority of agents do. So either way is totally fine. So these are generated from social media. Okay, we put ads out on Instagram and Facebook, things like that, and that's where our leads are generated from. But what's key about our lead systems is that we're very direct, whether it's final expense lead or it's a life insurance or non-med term lead. We put the offer in front of them. Like I said, we don't play games. There's no, get a free iPad if you click here type of thing. There's just so much junk out there, it seems like. And so me coming from the life insurance background, I wanted to create something that, I wanted to work. And that's actually how this all came about. I worked these leads myself because I built them for me. And so it kind of evolved into a lead company, but this whole thing started with me working these leads as a single producer, trying to make money for just me and my family. And so I feel like if they're good enough for me, they're good enough for you guys as well. And so they were great, and I enjoyed having these conversations with people. And I did the statewide lead, by the way. So I'm in North Carolina. I was selling all over the country, and had some great conversations and met some really cool people through that process. But
What would you
yeah,
say,
so
Andrew? Just
yeah.
real quick, what would you say on the statewide leads? They can expect a full order to come within a week. Is that on the average? Within a few days,
Oh, no.
roughly?
Statewide should be a couple days. Yeah, typically a
Got
couple
it.
days, 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. And
Yep.
let me also say real fast, and I know, by the way, I had some phone issues in the beginning, so I apologize to everyone.
That's okay.
But I want to ask you, Andrew, and I think this is important. Everyone needs to understand that, these bullets, the free giveaway at the end, and listening to the two of us go back and forth sounds great, to all of us, right? But the way we look at this when we did our due diligence is we look at the agent feedback, right? And to me, that's the proof in the pudding, right? When Ian or Robert say, you know what, guys, I've had great luck. I'm selling, 3 to 5 out of every batch. It's working. So that's when we decided to put our right foot on the gas pedal and jump in. But I just wanted to mention that quickly. So what Andrew's telling you, they're facts. They're 100% facts. So, okay, Andrew, anything else you want to mention with the $1 million life leads before we
No,
go
I
to the
think,
next one?
yeah, I think we've covered everything pretty much. How it works, how they're generated, stuff like that. So yeah, we can go on to the next lead if you'd like.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's change the slide here. And what I want to talk about now, this is the latest platform Andrew launched, focusing on final expense. So I'll let you take the wheel on this, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually how we built the company. Was on the backs of a final expense lead. That's kind of how I started. And the one thing that's really interesting about the final expense industry is that there's a lot of people online, and so that means there's a lot of people that we can generate a lot of leads to, right? There's a lot of market opportunity there to be able to get a lot of leads. And so we put a final expense offer. I want to make sure that a lot of agents need to understand is that when you work final expense leads, final expense, there's an art to how you approach the lead. And so, I've got videos published on online if people want to go out there and learn. It's actually called the art of final expense. And it's interesting because like if you call a final expense lead and say, hey, are you looking for life insurance? I mean, their most automated response is going to be, no, I'm not. But how we craft our scripts and how we put the psychology of how you approach these leads, what we do in our ads is we tell them, hey, don't buy life insurance until you talk to us. Okay, and so I'm trying to put it in their brain that we have awesome opportunity for final expense coverages available for seniors, and don't, whatever you do, don't buy life insurance before you speak with us. I want to paint the picture that they need to talk to you. So when you buy the lead, they need to talk to you. Now, granted, it's the final expense industry, so you're going to hear anything and everything from these prospects because that's the nature of the business. But so and what's cool about the final expense leads, they are local. We do not do statewide leads right now for final expense. They're all local leads, and they come in pretty quick, depending on the area. I mean, like I'm seeing the same 2 or 3 days, maybe 4 on occasions, for a lead order to be filled. I mean, it depends on the area. I've seen, I think maybe one order, I think I had take about 5 or 6 days, but for the general consensus on our final expense leads, they're coming in quick. 2, 3, 4 days is typical. So you could expect to have those leads coming in quickly as well. And so we did open up a 15 lead order minimum, which is I will say as an agent, if you're only working 15 leads, you're really not stacking the numbers in your favor. So I would definitely, back when we used to have I was working final expense full time. It's weird. It's when I had 40 leads in my hand, I just had better weeks, bigger weeks. I made more money. But I understand it does cost more. But you put more opportunities in your hand, you're just going to make a lot more money. But we can also send these leads to your Ringy account as well. Very simple, same processes for our non-med term leads. We just do it in the senior market. Okay, these are local prospects within a 50-mile radius of the zip code that you give us. Okay, I want to make sure we're clear, and you'll see this on our order form or whatever. But the main thing is that understand that is a 50-mile radius driving distance from the center of the zip code that you give us, not from your house. Okay, and so we market to about a 25, 35-mile radius, but we credit if it's over 50 miles. Okay, this is a good lead. Just to give you kind of a snapshot of our history, we did over 500,000 final expense leads and over 20,000 lead orders just in 2020 alone. So it's very, we know what we're doing. We can generate you some leads. And if you're looking to really increase that senior market, then as far as your final expense sales, then we can definitely be a part of that for sure.
Wow, those are big numbers, Andrew. So would you say you guys as a company are heavily focused more on the final expense or the $1 million no exam life lead?
That's a great question. I would say we do both because there's not a really focus on one above the other. It just depends on the agent because the non-med term leads are going to be great for the agents that have a mortgage protection background, because they're used to selling term, non-med term, some UL, IUL. I mean, they're used to selling those products. Whereas not everybody does that. Some people are just final expense only, and that's okay. That's fine. So if that's you, then our final expense leads should work fine for you. So yeah, I would say no. I mean, I've got experience in both, and so that's why I built both of these leads.
Got it. Very interesting. No, and obviously it works, and it works well. So I love to see this, love to hear it. Do you have, before we let you go, any last comments, any tips for our audience, for the agents ordering that you want to share?
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that I'm noticing in certain agents and agencies that I've had the privilege to be around is that the agents that are successful are the agents that treat their dial time, meaning their time that the allotted time in their schedule that they set aside to call leads. They're treating that dial time as its sacred time. Like they communicate it with their family. They communicate, unless someone's bleeding or dying, right? Don't call, because from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm dialing leads. From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So they'll do a morning session and an afternoon session, and it's a couple 2-hour blocks where they call their leads. And what's interesting about the people that I've noticed, because I've been asking these same questions, Bill, because I'm very intrigued by people who are successful and hey, what's working, right? And
Sure.
What's interesting about the psychology of your dial time is that if you only bought 15 leads, well, then you're not going to have enough time. You're not going to have enough leads to even fill a dial time, right? And so, like, if you approach your business as like, hey, 2 to 3 days a week, whatever, I'm going to use these. I'm gonna break up a morning and afternoon session of dial times. Then you're going to have to buy enough leads to fill those times to make sure you're busy. So it's like, what are the money making activities that you can control? Well, it's calling leads. That's what makes you money, right? Is calling leads, setting appointments, and then going right in business. Well, it all starts with your phone. And if I could encourage every person on this call is tape a message. You could probably order a custom phone case on Amazon, but put something on your phone, on the back of your phone, that says, hey, pick me up, I make you money. And for some reason, a lot of agents have a lot of call reluctance. The phone is heavy. They don't want to pick it up. They don't want to call people. And so I would say there's 2 things you need to focus on. Number 1 is develop a dial time and treat it as a sacred time. Okay, communicate with your family. Block out. I'm going to call leads for this 2 hours, and just watch your income grow, right? The second thing I would focus on too is that when you call leads, don't call once. I think this is what I'm hearing from agents. Triple dial your leads. Okay, now let's break this down. If someone calls you from a number you don't recognize, you're probably not going to answer, right? That's human nature. But if someone calls, so you call Don't let it go to voicemail. And this is a trick too. I want to leave this with you guys. The first time you call, listen to their voicemail, because let's say the guy's name is Thomas, but in his voicemail, he's like, hey, thanks for calling Tommy, or hey, thanks for calling Tom. You need to make a mental note that, hey, this guy goes by Tommy and not Thomas, right? And then if he doesn't answer the first call, listen to his voicemail, see how he pronounces this name. The second call right back immediately. And don't let it go to voicemail. Just, you can end the call and then call back a third time. So it's a triple dial. That's one call sequence. On the triple, you'd be surprised how many people answer on that third dial. And what's crazy is, and I had this agent was telling me this recently. He says, man, out of hundreds of leads, I've had one person get upset that I called them 3 times in a row. And so I think a lot of agents just call through their leads very flippantly and lackadaisically. And I think that this is your business. You want to be successful, then you're going to have to put in the time and call them, triple dial them. So number one, develop a dial time and protect it. Okay. Treat it like it's a non-negotiable in your business. And number two, triple dial and use some of those tips and tricks I just talked to you about. The agent told me this the other day, Bill, and I was blown away. I was like, I've been selling, I don't sell now, but I've been selling insurance for years. I never even thought of that. So listen to their voicemail, pay attention to how they pronounce their name, or maybe she goes by Susie instead of Suzanne, right? So whatever their name, like for example, my name's Andrew and I go by Andrew, but a lot of people with my name go by Drew, they go by Andy, they go by, whatever. And so I think that's very important. And so Bill, I may have talked too much,
Yes.
but I think if I
No,
can
that's
just really
perfect.
break down, yeah, man, if I could just break down the success and the common denominators of success is develop a dial time, treat it as a non-negotiable in your business, which means you got to buy enough leads to fill your dial time. And then when you call them, triple dial your leads. You do those things, you're going to have a lot of problems, but insurance sales and commissions in your bank account will not be one of them.
Yeah, no, I love it. And then after the triple dial, if you get nowhere, are they a lot of these agents texting as well to set up the time for the appointment
So
to warm it
that's
up
a
or
great
no?
question. Yeah, that's a great question. So, what I'm seeing and hearing is triple dial your lead that morning. And by the way, the guy that I spoke to this about at 7:59 a.m., okay, 7:59 a.m., he's typing in his first lead's phone number into his iPhone. And as soon as his clock turns 8 a.m., he pushes dial. Like, that's how intentional this guy is about his calls. And I'm like, man, dude, I'm loving this. But he'll text. So do a morning session, do an afternoon session, okay, with your dials. Now, granted, some of these people maybe work a little bit later, so you may have to do 2 evenings per week if it's a non-med life lead. Maybe 2 evenings per week. You make you 30 minutes of dials or whatever. But Bill, I would say on the second or third time, if you haven't gotten them, shoot them a quick text. But you can also send them a text up front. I mean, it's hard to screw up it's hard to say the wrong thing to the right person, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely text from your iPhone that's more personable and it's more relatable, or text them from your cell phone. And um, yeah, I think you definitely need to incorporate text messages. But it just as far as when, I mean, I know some agents that text them when the lead first comes in, and a lot of agents wait till after about 3 dial sessions, they'll shoot them a text.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's just all consistency and persistency, taking this serious, and just like your top agent friend, at 8:59, entering the number, and I love that, and I'm sure the guy is very successful. So those are the kinds of things
You know,
that
and
work. Say it
Bill, and I
again.
don't mean to interrupt, but
No, it's okay.
I
Yeah.
said I don't mean to interrupt, but yeah, Bill, this guy and some of the people that I see, but especially this guy that does that dials at 7:59, like there's nothing special about this guy, and he would tell you, he said, man, I'm just an average Joe, but this guy writes an incredible amount of insurance because he treats his business. He has non-negotiables, and one of those is dial time, and I think that I don't care if you've been in the business 30 years, I don't care if you've been in the business for 30 days. We all need more discipline, and we all need to treat this business more seriously. And I think I wish I would have heard some of these things when I was young in my career, because I would have made a whole lot more money. Because no one is telling you to get out of bed and go call your leads. right? You're a self-employed, independent insurance agent. Like you're the boss.
Yep,
At the end
that's
of the
right.
day, if you want to make more money, it's up to you.
That's right. And I feel like one nice sale, and you paid for 2, 3 batches of these leads. So I mean, it all adds up. And I feel like once you make one, you're off to the races. So
That's right.
I don't know. I think, sitting here listening to me and Andrew go back and forth, now you have enough of the bullets, the tips. You have 2 great platforms here, co-op pricing, right? We even lowered the minimums for you. So there's no reason to not give this a shot. On top of, what else you're doing. I'm sure you're working on referrals and, seminars or webinars, whatever it is. I think that's great. But this is definitely a good reason for you now to give one of these 2 platforms a shot, or both. And like Andrew said, fill that time clock. If it's 30 leads, 40 leads, whatever it is. But you got to dive in and take this serious.
Right.
Okay, Andrew. Anything else before we put a bow
man.
on it? We got a few other things after.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's it, man. I really appreciate the time, and I apologize. It's been, a little bit more delayed. We have a newborn at the house, so, I don't even, sometimes I find myself asking my wife, what day is it again? So it's been a little bit delayed.
Well, now you need that discipline more than ever, my friend. So there you go.
You're exactly right. That's exactly right. 100%. Thank you guys.
I love it. Love it.
Bill,
Good
I guess I'll
stuff,
hop
Andrew.
off and then you guys can.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate it. Yep. Thank you again. Take care. All right. Now, what
Okay,
we want
guys.
to do
Bye-bye.
take care, bud. Okay. What we want to do real fast is we're going to show everyone what it looks like now to get started, right? We want to show you what products you need to have access to, cheat sheets, quote engines, everything you need to be dangerous, right? Once you get one of these prospects on the phone. So we're going to dive into everything A to Z. Make sure you're taking down notes, please, because I want you to remember this stuff. Okay, first thing is these are testimonials from real live agents that are using the platform. We rolled out the $1 million no exam life leads first, and now obviously the final expense, but just a few examples because I want you all to see that these are agents, right? You don't have to, me and Andrew going back and forth is great, but you can say, well, they're not an agent like me in the field. These are agents like you in the field, okay? And by the way, you'll see them on our Facebook page as well. That's where most of these came from. So they're real. This is 100%. Top left corner, social media leads are awesome. Thank you so much, Team Levinson. On the bottom there by John, FEX Lead Success. Let's go over to, I'm not going to read the one on the right. It's going to take a few minutes, but I'll focus on the middle, Agent Dave. I've been getting these leads for a few weeks now, and they're awesome. I spend time with many vendors for callback leads and have had minimal success. These leads seem like layups. Okay, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, this is a big deal. And by the way, we don't make a penny on these leads. When I negotiated this deal with Andrew, day one, I said, Andrew, listen, we have 22,000 agents. I don't want to make any money per lead. I want our agents to get the best deal possible, like Costco type of pricing versus, the neighborhood supermarket. We're going to make our money when our agents write business. Okay, so it's no secret. So anyway, that's how this whole thing came to the top here, and that's why I wanted to share it with our agents because it's a good opportunity to get your foot in the door and save 15 to 25%, and the lead minimums drop down when you're a Levinson agent. So anyway, important stuff. Let's keep moving along here. Now, to get access, yes, you have to be an active Levinson agent. Okay, so obviously, if you're working final expense leads and you're not licensed with a final expense company, that's a problem. If you're working the $1 million life leads and you have one final expense appointment with Levinson, that's a problem. So just common sense, okay? You have to actually sign a form online, okay, that says any and all business written must come back through Levinson. So just do the right thing. Okay, that's all we ask because, like I said, we don't make anything. In fact, we're actually in the red because of the time and expense in marketing the programs out to our agents. So the only thing we ask is obviously write the business. back through us. Okay, now let's move over to the right-hand side. So, Andrew and I mentioned Ringy. Now, you make even those 3 calls, right? And you say to yourself, okay, I made my 3 dials per lead. I sent out my text. I heard nothing back. Okay, which is going to happen, by the way. Ringy, okay, or any follow-up tool for that matter, is crucial. Why? Because we know most sales don't happen until 5 through 12, through the 5th through 12th contact or reach out, okay? So that means you need a good system, a follow-up, follow-through system to make sure you're touching everybody, right? It's your hard-earned dollars that you're spending on these leads. So if it's Ringy, fine. If you want to use your own spreadsheet and you have an admin assistant, whatever it is, that's fine too, but you must follow up. And don't forget that 5 through 12 is usually when the sale is made. That's a fact. Law of large numbers. You can go Google it. It's a fact. Okay, so what I wanted to show you real fast, if we move to the right side, the first bullet there, we have, now think about this, these are aged mortgage protection leads that are at least 6 months old. Now, when you think about the follow-up numbers, right, 5 through 12, most of these agents that bought the exclusive leads, they never made it 5 through 12. They asked for new leads. So you can buy these aged leads, $2 a piece. What I would do is use that triple dial system, right, the text, and then throw them into Ringy and let Ringy do all the work for you. But that's another great option, especially at $2 a lead. Okay, then as we're moving down here, we have a few exclusive platforms that you can use as like a leg up, a differentiator against other agents out there. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like, let's say the scholarship program. So you, okay, can market to these leads or prospects and say, oh, by the way, if you work with me, with little Johnny or little Shelly, right, your children or grandchildren, you can give them a 1-year free scholarship. It's complimentary, doesn't cost you a penny. Plus, we have Legacy Armor, we have Legacy Safeguard. These are turnkey planning kits available at no charge for Levinson Agents. If you want to focus on annuities, right, or you want to go after the $10 million IUL sale, okay, we have a great financial services co-op mailer program that you can also tap into. So that works out well too. We have orphan leads that are free. So as soon as you write $10,000 a premium 1 year, free orphans, okay? Business owner prospecting software. This is a turnkey system that allows you to tap into business owners, and it gives you a presentation system. Like, think of like an IUL illustration, right? You can sit down with the business owner, do this through a webinar, a seminar, or one-on-one, and it gives them a 100-foot snapshot of their business and how you can help with financial products and solutions. It's great, and it's free. The CRM tool, Ringy, no-brainer. That's another big one. Also, cash for contracting and leads for contracting. So if you transfer a company to us with your first app, free leads or cash for contracting, that's simple. Okay, anyway, that we're going to include in our thank you email. So that whole slide and all the details you'll see before we leave tonight. Let's keep moving here. Now, once you have the prospects on the phone, I don't care where they came from. It doesn't matter if it's referrals, all the above, whatever. You need to be ready, okay? And what I recommend, it doesn't matter if you have a Android-powered smartphone or iPhone, you need to have the Levinson mobile app up and ready to go. Why? Because you can quote from here. You can sign up a prospect from here. You can send a link from here. Everything that you need is at your fingertips in real time, right from the free app. So if you're going to have the app up on your smartphone, great. You can have this set up on your laptop, on your desktop, whatever it is, but you need to be ready to go. I suggest your quoting engine ready to go, and then, of course, your drop ticket or iGo eApp system ready to go, because you can literally quote and sign up in less than 10 minutes. All right, let's keep moving along. Now, I want to show you real fast what the final expense quoting engine looks like, and then we have a term, and we have the first IUL quoter available to you all, and these are all free, by the way. So left-hand side is everything final expense, okay, at your fingertips, health analyzer built in, because most of these consumers are seniors. There's going to be health issues. This tells you exactly carrier, health class, premium, all within seconds. The right-hand side quoting engine on our website as well. This is for term, return of premium, and even IUL, UL, whole life. And what's so cool about this, when you enter in that client's details, right, and you get the quote, and the consumer says, "Oh, Bill, this sounds great, $32 a month, I'm in." All you hit is submit, and all of that info now gets populated into the drop ticket or iGo e-app. So it makes your life so much easier. It's faster. Everything happens within minutes. Okay, so this is going to change your world. Also, if let's say you're running an IUL quote on our quoting engine and you need to see the full illustration, you can hit a button and everything will populate into the full carrier compliant illustration presentation system. So again, makes things a lot easier for you. Okay, so get comfortable with the website, with the iGo e-apps drop tickets, and then the quoters. Very, very important. Okay, let's keep moving along. Now, what I want to show you quickly, real fast. These are some great products for each platform. So if you're working, let's say, the $1 million no exam life leads, right? A lot of these prospects you can pivot into, let's say, an IUL sale, okay? And you need to be on your toes. You need to know enough to be dangerous, because when they start asking questions, right, you got to know how to answer. Does this come with living benefits? How high can I apply for it without an exam? So you got to be ready. So anyway, we handpicked on the top left-hand side. Lincoln just came out with their new IUL called Wealth Accelerate. We're one of a few exclusive IMOs that can offer this. Okay, so it's instant decision IUL up to $1.5 million with living benefits included. Okay, and 3 table shave reduction. So this works out great for those $1 million no exam life leads. Wealth Accelerate just out by Lincoln last week, as a matter of fact. And then Symetra, very, very, very fast. IUL and term up to 3 million same-day decision. Okay, so again, very quick. You got to be on your toes. And then, of course, Foresters is great if there's some health issues. They will do non-med to 400,000, and they'll go up to age 85 if needed. So that's a big one. Now, let's move over to the right-hand side. Final expense, okay? Aflac, just out. Now, when you're working with seniors, right, you got to have a great company name, a great brand. Everybody knows. Think about Aflac, the duck, okay? Again, we were one of a few IMOs that have access, but final expense to 50,000, and they always come up in typically first, second, or third out of all final expense products available. So definitely one you need to have at your fingertips. CVS, Aetna, okay, talk about name and branding. Okay, everybody knows CVS, Aetna, that's another big one. And of course, Great Western. And what I like about Great Western is, of course, they have the modified death benefit option for seniors that are not healthy. So that gives you a good backup solution where maybe you don't have to go to guaranteed issue. You can go to a modified death benefit. So, and also voice signature, another important item when you're selling over the phone. You got to look for that, okay, to keep things simple, right? Because you want to be in and out, and that's another big plus. So, and then here's what we did, and I asked Andrew and Elise to put this together for us. This is a cheat sheet, and it doesn't matter if you're selling over the phone, right? You're selling virtual, which, by the way, especially post-pandemic, right? We know what's going on right now, the last 3 years. Most families, okay, especially with the seniors, they don't want to see you in person at their living room table. So you got to be ready to go and dangerous over the phone, right? And if you need to send them a link through email, or if you have to do everything over the phone, that's fine. But you got to have your cheat sheet up and ready to go. This is on our website, and we're going to include this in our thank you email as well. But this gives you a snapshot of every carrier, what the age ranges are, what the max face amount is with no exam, okay, no APS, let's say. What are the health classes? What are the niches? Does it come with living benefits, right? Everything ready to go, because you got to be in and out, okay, as we know. So this is another great resource for you all. Let's keep moving along. Okay, by the way, we're almost done here, and I know I'm ranting a little bit here. I'm trying to keep it short. So, Insure Me Now Direct is another great plus. Okay, while you're working any type of leads, and here's why, right? Especially some of the younger generation, they don't even want to forget a living room appointment. They don't even want to take time out of their day for a 20-minute phone call. They want you to email them the information. How many times have you heard that? So, what I like to do is, especially if it's, let's say, under 55, okay, they can go with term up to 1.5 million. We have supplemental products, critical illness, disability. We have guaranteed issue accidents at age 85, everything. Instant decision, 100% direct to consumer. You can literally email them a link. They can go on your site, click, buy, done. You did nothing. Okay, sell while you sleep. You wake up in the morning, you have a new commission, right? New policy is active, and then you call them and thank them for the sale. But anyway, we have over 20 products now, 5 different carriers. So this is another great option. And think, even if you're face to face with someone, you can turn your phone around and run the quote on your cell phone, and they can literally apply and get approved in front of you in minutes. So there's so many different ways now with all of our tech. What I'm telling all of you, I don't care what age range, just get comfortable with the basics, okay? Stick with a handful of carriers and products, have your go-tos, and that's it. You'll be off to the races. The one thing I'll promise you is you won't come across a consumer or a lead, right, where they're going to say, Bill, you know what? The product you quoted me is 30% higher than this product. Okay, if you're going to compare apples to apples, our products will never get beat out, ever. And I'm putting that on this record, right? And if there's a situation where you say, oh, Bill, they beat us by 30, 40%, you send me, I want to see our illustration in that one, and I'm going to show you what the difference is. Maybe it's not guaranteed, maybe it's not level, but the point is you can feel comfortable knowing if you speak to one of our marketers, you say, I need the best price, final expense product or term product or IUL, we have it. Point blank, no one will beat us. So you need to know that, especially when you're working the phones. Okay, let's keep moving along. Okay, this is a great, great learning tool for you all. So I interviewed Natalie, and she is awesome. Why? She's using the senior market health products to open doors and then pivot, cross sell with life. She's very successful. Okay, she was at our expo, the last expo we had. I sat down with her for about 45, 50 minutes, and I pretended like I was an agent in the field, and I wanted to pick her brain and see what's working, what's not. By the way, she's also using Ringy and having success. So this is a great podcast. It'll be launched today. You'll see this in your inbox or your favorite podcast channel. So definitely check that one out. Okay, second to last slide, and we're done. We'll have our giveaway as well. Okay, real fast. These are our weekly webinar trainings. So we do have one this Thursday, which is when we typically host our live webinars. Now, this is probably the biggest webinar we have ever done since 1972, before I was even born, okay? So why do I love this Thursday's webinar? First ever living benefits certification course hosted by Levinson and Life of the Southwest. This is going to add a designation on your business card, okay, to sell the new kind of life insurance that pays while you're still alive, not the old kind, right? So this is a full certification course on the 22nd. We'll include the registration link in our thank you email. And then the following week, next Thursday, we're going over the Lincoln Financial relaunch webinar. We're covering everything from A to Z with Lincoln Financial, one of our biggest carriers. That's next week, 3 p.m. Now we're going to focus on Positive Tuesday and our giveaway. We are giving away right now a batch of these leads, Andrew's leads, to the agent that answers first and correctly. Okay. And I'll also take a second. I want to apologize. I know I had some phone issues with GoToMeeting, the software, earlier. So I'm sorry once again for that. And I want to focus real quick. Left-hand side is our Positive Tuesday quote. Instead of looking for that thing to do to be successful, maybe it's the one thing you need to stop doing to be successful. Maybe it's a bad habit. Maybe you need to try something new, right? Maybe if you're the kind of guy or girl that says, oh, I know it all. I've been doing this for 29 and a half years, Billy. What am I going to learn from you? Well, it might be time to try something new, a new platform, a new resource. Listen to a podcast. Maybe you can learn something from one of our top agents that we interviewed. Who knows? Whatever it is. The point is be open minded, be willing to change and pivot, especially during a time like this, right? Think about it. Very important stuff. You got to grow. Okay. Question of the day. Whoever answers first wins. Okay. Now, make sure you're paying attention. Your little fingers are on your keyboard and you're ready to go. The question is, when I mentioned there's a handful of products that we handpicked for Andrew's leads, right? One was for the $1 million life. One was for the FEX leads. I spoke about a brand new product by Lincoln. Tell me the name of that IUL by Lincoln Financial and you win. Tell me the name of the product. The new IUL, 1.5 million instant decision. IUL from Lincoln Financial. You tell me the name of the product and you win a free batch of Andrew's leads. Whoever answers first wins. Tell me the name of the product. You win. Andrew, Annalise, do we have a winner today?
Yes, we do. It is Nathan G. Nathan G.
Nathan G, congrats. The answer was Wealth Accelerate by Lincoln Financial, 1.5 million instant decision IUL with Lincoln with living benefits. Anyway, thank you again. I hope this was worth your time. Keep your eyes peeled for the thank you email. Will contain everything that we went over today. Congrats, Nathan. Let's have a great Monday, a great week, great selling. Thank you again, everyone.